Moving on now, in Andhra Pradesh's Kurnool, the video of a patient who was being dragged on a stretcher by the family members has now come to light. Now, family members can be seen dragging the stretcher on the road. Now, the 65-year-old patient was being treated at the Kurnool Government Hospital, we understand, and then was being taken to a private lab for a CT scan. Now, the hospital says that the labs were fully functional at the hospital and the patient was asked to wait for half an hour, but that they took the patient on the stretcher on their own. That's the visual on your screen of the family members taking the stretcher on their own to a lab to be tested for a CT scan. Soumit joining me for more details. Soumit, if you can take us through what you know on this incident.
Well, yesterday, two members found dragging a 65-year-old unconscious patient on a stretcher to a private diagnostic lab after a doctor, a neurosurgeon in Kurnool District Government Hospital, has referred the patient to undergo a CT scan. It is said that we later spoke to the superintendent of that hospital, and he said that this 65-year-old patient, Timappa, who was having a head injury and got admitted to Kurnool Government Hospital yesterday in unconscious state, and he was referred to a CT scan by the neurosurgeon who attended him, and later the doctor has asked to take him to the lab which is located in the hospital itself. But later the superintendent said that the patient's attenders took him to the lab, and at that spot, they have asked them to wait for half an hour, but they didn't wait, and they just took the patient outside of the hospital to a private lab. And there are many questions being raised how the hospital staff allowed the patient to take out the patient on the stretcher and all these things. However, the superintendent is saying that the labs in the hospital.
Yes, absolutely, Soumit. In fact, those are the visuals there on the screen. We can very clearly see how the patient is being taken on the stretcher, clearly shedding light on the situation of medical infrastructure as well. Thank you so much for joining us with those details.